Alright, this is going to be my review of the DeWheel Universal 750 milliliter aluminum catch can. Can be found on Amazon for like $35.99 is what I got mine for. Basically, you have your catch can unit, a little oil reserve line on the side here. Kind of lets you know when you got filled up and stuff. It has a single bolt on the bottom, just pull off, drain. Obviously mine's leaking a little bit, so good news is it's working. There is oil in it. Okay, so it comes with the unit, 2 hose clamps, some length of this tube. I cut it originally and used it just to get it on there to kind of get a feel for it. I didn't really care for the tube. I ended up actually going down to a local parts store and purchased 5 foot of actual hose line, and an L bracket, black. They come in black, blue, red, or silver. An L bracket, some washers, and some bolts for it. Obviously, I didn't use them because they didn't work with the application I was trying to put it in. But basically, all you do is you take, well, for the a Dodge 5.7 liter Hemi, it has this piece that actually hooks between the naturally aspirated bypass line that will run your oil and basically dump it back into your motor. Now, if you contact Dodge, they tell you that it's not a big deal. It's so little amount that, it doesn't really affect anything, but you're putting oil and gunk back into your motor. So I didn't really feel like that was the best thing for it. So I ended up going out and buying this kit real quick. There's a few things that I liked about it and a few things I don't. One, the things I like about it. It's a really decent size. It does have the filter valve with a clear view tube, so you can actually see when you need to change it. This one's been on here for probably 1,000 miles. I have gotten out a pretty good amount of oil from it. Things that I didn't like is this tubing actually was too small to fit my stock outlets, so I ended up having to run down to my local parts store. When I bought the tubing, I also bought tube adapters to take it from 3/4 down to a 5/8, I think is what it is. Not quite positive. And I did have to obviously buy some more hose line clamps. It's originally just long enough to put it, somewhere over in here. If you go with the billet version, it's $120 to $150 depending on the size. They actually link onto this bolt right here, so the lines run just straight down. It's a little cleaner, and obviously if you have the money, you should probably spend the money. This is the budget route and it works just fine for me. Originally I did have it just put right here, but as you can see from the scrape lines on it, it kept scraping on this bolt here, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. So I went down and got more hose so I could actually run it all back behind the electrical box and over to here where I could sink it down. I had to go out and buy a Morosa 63 401 Universal tank mounting bracket. I got this one off of Amazon as well for about $12.88 or $13. It was a little bit, and then I had to get, obviously, self-tapping screws so I could put it in my wheel well like that, and some washers so that the bolts actually fit. I didn't want to have to go and get a really long one to make it big enough. But it basically sits down in there all nice and pretty. Yeah, so it's got enough on distance in there that I can actually reach down in there to set a cup down there, plastic cup or whatever, paper, undo my bolt and just drain it in there. I am trying to find one of the self-draining ones that are available on the billet ones, because it just basically gives you a tab. You click the tab and it'll drain. But all in all, I spent what, 40, 50, 60 bucks altogether with all of the tubing, the reducers, the hose clamps. I reused, this is a factory hose, and this is the factory hose that actually goes off of the factory naturally aspirated bypass. So a lot of the hose I didn't have to get a new one of, thankfully, because it would have been a pain in the butt. But all in all, I do like it, and I would recommend it. But like I said, there's a few things that did kind of suck. The hose, the clamp. You know, I mean, this L bracket really doesn't give you a lot of options on where to put it, especially if you have no real room in here for it. But like I said, it's working just fine. Make sure that you get your hoses to the right section and inlets and outlets, because let's see, which way do I have this running? That one comes down. So that one has to actually go into the one that has the filter inside. I'm not going to pull it apart to show you because I don't want to have to put it back in here. But this one runs down and actually has a filter, and then the other one just is basically to get the air out, so that you don't end up with a lot of contaminants in there either. Going back in, it filters it all out. I know somebody who actually didn't put it on the right way, and it ended up being a mess. And I think that's about it. Like I said, 60 bucks, an oil catch can installed, and it's working great so far. Anyways, so that's my review of the DeWheel Universal 750 milliliter aluminum oil engine oil catch can. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video and review. Thanks.